Hi hopefuls, this is Gail Deshondo. Welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about Emily in Paris, season 1, episode 1. So I was going to talk about the whole series because I binged watched it twice already, y'all. I love this series. I love it. But so much stuff happens, I cannot get it all in one video, and I'm just gonna talk about the first episode and lay down the foundation for you guys, like the basics. So the first off, I want to introduce the 3 most important characters that I think right now. So we have Gabriel, the hot neighbor. We have Sylvie, the jealous boss, and of course we have Emily, our main character. So we have a lot of supporting cast and other people that we'll get to know, but for the first episode, these are the most important people that I think, I think they're like the most important people throughout. So we'll just talk about the other people as we get to them. The story starts off. Oh, also guys, if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video because it's spoilers. It's spoilers, but I'm sure you already seen it if you're here, hopefully. Anyway, so the story starts off with Emily, and by some unrealistic circumstances, she gets the opportunity to go to Paris, and she meets Sylvie, her French boss, and Sylvie already doesn't like her, like day one. Oh, you don't speak French? Yeah, she doesn't like her. And then we meet Gabriel, her hot neighbor who lives in the building with her, and she meets other people that aren't that important yet. But let's talk about her getting to go to Paris. So for some strange reason, like I want to say that I love the show. I really do. But some of the stuff just didn't, it was a little over the top, which it's romance. But so for some strange reason, Emily, who's this young intern, she's not an intern, she's an assistant. So she's this young assistant, and somehow she gets picked to go to Paris when her boss, who speaks French, was gonna go to Paris, gets pregnant. So all the senior people in the company and those, I guess, who speak French, none of those people were considered. They go straight to the assistant of the lady to go to Paris. So I thought that was a little weird that, you know, they didn't consider anybody other than her. So she has this boyfriend and this seemingly nice life. She's got a great job that she loves, a great handsome boyfriend, everything's going great. She gets this opportunity to go to Paris. 1 month. So I don't understand how she picked up her entire life and was ready to go in 1 month. Now, you know, I don't know how much she was getting paid or how her life worked, but I don't know where she got the finances to just pick up and move to Paris for an entire year. I guess maybe the job's paying for everything. That really wasn't explained, or how she got her apartment packed so quickly. Like, it takes me forever to pack it up. Or how she got all the documentation. I'm guessing even though she was young and she didn't plan on leaving Chicago, she had a passport already, which I would hope, because it would be nearly impossible to get a passport in, you know, under a month. So it was just a lot of logistics that didn't make sense, or they were just glossed over. But I mean, you know, again, it's romance. So also, it never said if she was living with her boyfriend or not, but I'm just assuming that she wasn't living with her boyfriend, just like because she met him at this place after work or whatever. But how was she able to lease her, like get out of her apartment lease in less than a month? She would have had to pay it off, but maybe her job paid it off, or maybe she was living with her boyfriend, but now he's missing that second income to pay her half of the rent. So that's still, you know what? It's romance. It's romance. It's okay. Anyway, she gets to Paris. These guys are already hitting on her, like, right out the cab. You know, they're trying to take her on dates or whatever. And, you know, too bad she's taken. But she meets her neighbor, Gabriel, the hot neighbor, and the way she meets him is because she accidentally tries to go into his apartment because she thinks it's her apartment. So she lives on the 5th floor. But in Paris, I guess like the 5th floor is really the 6th floor, because the ground floor isn't the 1st floor, it's floor 0. Yeah, that's weird. And she got confused. However, I don't know how she continued to get confused, because she did it more than once, and I'm like, okay, Emily, you don't know where you live at this point. There's a problem. Like, maybe put a doormat outside of your door or something so that you know that this is your apartment. Yeah. And she meets this guy, and she's like tripping over herself. I mean, he is hot. That's all. He's super hot. Like, trust me, I would keep trying to break in too. So I am here for all of that. When we already know, like off rip, if you know anything about romance movies or shows, you know off rip that this guy is going to be the main guy. However, Emily still has a boyfriend. Now we got a problem, y'all. Like, we have a problem. We gonna get to that in another video, because that's not for this video. But just know, like, just by seeing this guy, we know he's the main character. Everything at this point seems to be going perfect. She's loving Paris. Everything is great except for work. So she gets to work, and she tries to introduce herself to the guy who, you know, he's like, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm the American girl here to help. Now he's not speaking to her in English, he's speaking to her in French, and he calls up he calls up Sylvie, who's the boss, and he's speaking French on the phone. So Sylvie comes out, Sylvie's speaking to her in French, and she realizes that the girl doesn't speak French, and she's like, oh, you don't speak French? I was told that there'd be French. And she's like, yeah, well, you know, things happen. I'm here, I don't speak French. So right off back, Sylvie doesn't like her. She's like, oh, you come to Paris, you don't speak French, don't like you. And that's a crazy reason not to like somebody. But yeah, which is actually which doesn't even matter, because it's so stupid, guys. Every single person in the show speaks English, so they try to make it seem like it's this huge deal that she doesn't speak French, but every person speaks English. Everyone, even the ones that were speaking to her in French to begin with, speaks English. And I'm like, okay. So I mean, it makes sense, because, you know, they want to appeal to an American audience, so of course everyone speaks French. But I just don't think that they should try to make it seem like a big deal that she doesn't speak it when everybody else speaks English. So, and amazingly perfect English at that. Like, the English is flawless, but the accents are great too. So that part was quite unrealistic, really. Yeah, there's not I was trying to think, but there's not a single person in there that doesn't speak English. So her life really isn't as hard as they made it seem like it was gonna be. Like, oh, you don't speak French? Well, this is going to be bad for you. That was my horrible French accent. So nobody likes this girl. Like, from day one, no one likes her. Everyone is super mean and rude to her, even though she has impeccable fashion sense. I mean, y'all, this yellow dress that she wore, like, yes, honey, with the purse. Yo, the fashion in this show, I'm not even like the fashion type, but I was watching like, wow, she made me want to get some fashion, you know, pull out my passport like, yo, Paris, what's up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, she is super romanticized, but I love it, y'all. Okay. So I will have to say that even though everybody was mean to her and everything, she did try to like bulldoze people with like her opinions and her ideas without really getting to know anybody. So that would have annoyed me too, but they already liked her before. I mean, they already didn't like her before that happened. So they just didn't like her even more after that, which I get it. I wouldn't like it either. Like, don't be coming up into my job where I've been working all this time trying to tell me what to do. Don't do it. Like, just, no. Don't like it, don't do it, a boobity-boo. All right, so she meets this English-speaking woman from Shanghai who is a nanny in Paris, and she meets her on the bench, and they just start talking, and they pretty much become instant friends. The girl like takes her phone and give her number so that they can hang out and stuff. And this part really isn't that unrealistic, because I found in my travels that people really are that nice. And I think it's just because like when you're traveling, you're more open, you're happier, and people pick up on that and they want to come and they want to talk to you and be nice and your friend and stuff. Like, so that part was realistic. I could see that happening actually. But so the girl that she meets is she becomes an important part. Like, she becomes really good friends with her. Also for another video though, but she is kind of important. Yeah, so in conclusion, the show ends with Emily being in Paris for, you know what, I don't even know how long she was there, because there's really no sense of time at all. Like, at this point, the first episode, she could have been there for weeks, or she could have been there for months, days, I don't really know. But at the end of the episode, she's really missing her boyfriend, and it ends with her trying to plug in her American vibrator, and she causes a building-wide power outage, and the episode goes off. So, would I recommend this show, like, just based on the first episode? Yes. 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 There was fashion. There were cute guys. Her boyfriend is cute too. So don't think that it's just Gabriel. Like, there are some cute guys in this show. There's social media aspect of it, which I also really like. Just like watching her take pictures and do her social media thing is super cool. Outside of that, my favorite part of this episode was probably meeting Gabriel. It had to be meeting Gabriel. Like, he was so cute and just so smooth. Yum. Y'all. So if you have seen this, if you've seen Emily in Paris, you saw episode 1, let me know in the comments below what your favorite part of the episode was. If you had a favorite part of the episode. If you haven't seen it, go see it, because it's such a good show. It's only 10 episodes, so it doesn't take long to binge watch and binge watch again, as you can see that I did. I will see you guys next video, and that's a wrap.